All right, now we're live. Now we're cooking. Getting set up here. Get this link tweeted out. Get set up with the chat here on the side in a second. Got some good information for you guys, or at least I hope you think it's good tonight. Getting situated. Here's how my phone is looking, by the way, for those of you that have not seen yet. Doing great. Clown, it just keeps getting worse. All right, I got my link. Getting set up here. I'm also going to set up an intro song soon. I really do have a lot of plans for this live stream. I just really have to take it brick by brick, and I'm just trying to organize a lot with my own life right now. I know it sounds like kind of a lame excuse, and honestly it is, because there's no excuses, right? At the end of the day, I got to execute, and I'm going to do that, but I should find a way to like organize myself and just find that path, if that makes sense. I don't know, but I'm going to keep going down it. Get situated. Whoop. So I'm definitely going to talk about Dillards today. So before you think, oh my God, Tetron's shilling other stocks, like allow me to get into it. Thought I had saved this on there. Thumb. Save. Yes. Get out of there. Howdy, looking forward to the stream. Oh no, I just clicked off. 1 second. Oh, I do have the thumbnail in here. I'm literally chilling. Howdy, looking forward to the stream. Your phone looks amazing. Thank you, Silly Ape. I know, that was a fun night out. Well, it was already broken, but then I dropped it, and it broke again. Way worse. And it didn't seem that bad. And then over time each day, it's just getting a little bit more space taken up on there, right? Crazy. But just get situated with the chat here on the side. Get this link on Twitter, then we're literally chilling. Also see how the audio sounds. Let's see. Get this link on Twitter, then we're literally chilling. Also see how the audio sounds. Oh, alright, we're chilling. Now you guys are echoing. Your thumbnails look really professional. 420 bonk smoke. Thank you. Honestly, I don't think they're that great, so you might be sarcastic, and I'm alright with that. It's all good. But I mean, I try to keep them like simple and just to the point right now. But keep working on those little things, All right, so we are all situated here. Oh, I gotta tweet it. That's the one thing. Oh, and how are Google's earnings? I haven't even checked. Just because those will always move the market. Just tweeting out the link, guys. Continued weakness. YouTube. Oh, okay, well this is, I guess, just people anticipating it. Earnings aren't out yet. Maybe it's tomorrow. Dillard's, guys. I think I found something interesting. I'm definitely not the first to have ever brought this up. I saw it a while back, but I really like looked into the company and I found something really interesting that I want to share with you guys today. It's so annoying to tweet on my phone, actually, with this stupid crack. Oh, I'm dumb as heck. I could just be doing it from here. I noticed your sound is better than some of the past streams. Yes, Silly Ape, I finally got a headset. We out here. That actually works. Love to see it. in much better shape. Going to keep upgrading the setup little by little. Eventually, I'm going to have a setup, hopefully, down the line, but, you know, brick by brick, just like GameStop. Okay. Now, this is just the back office stream, I guess. Get the main. Give it the share from here. Appreciate all of you being here tonight. Brick by brick, just like GameStop.
Twitter.
Okay. Now, this is just the back office stream, I guess. Get the main. Yeah, I really have to fix this background for my channel,
here.
actually. I should do something
Appreciate
about
all
that
of you
soon,
being
come
here
to think
tonight.
of it. Damn, Twitter, why are you lagging? Elon, come on, bruh. Oh my goodness. Brick by brick, just like GameStop.
Twitter.
Okay. Now, this is just the back office stream, I guess. All right. Get the main. So we're here. So, of course, you know, I'm not ever trying to show you guys anything groundbreaking. And oh, terrible echo. I'm sorry. Never want to show you guys anything groundbreaking. I always like just present information, you know, like have people like think. I always say thoughts and opinions, no financial advice, because I really don't want to tell you what to invest in, right? I want you to make your own decisions, conclusions, and just present information. That's like kind of my goal with this whole channel since I started. And I really always felt like so many YouTubers are always like, oh, do this and do that with this stock and that. And it's like, why not just say what you think and then just be like, yeah, do whatever you want. Like, I don't understand why more people don't have that mentality. But that's just my mindset. Do whatever you like. All right, so Dillard's. I have a bunch of different information here. I'm going to go through it little bit by little bit. Probably should have opened all these up beforehand, but that's okay. We'll go brick by brick here. So macro trends. I actually really like this website a lot. Perfect. So this website here, guys, Macro Trends, has a lot of great information about any stock historically when you look on a long-term time frame, which I think is really good. I even used this website actually for a couple of research projects in college for finance. All right, let's get their overall statistics. That's important. So, okay, when we pull up Dillard's here, right? When you scroll down, the first thing that jumps out to me, ever since I invested in GameStop, I look for this in every company, right? Massive insider interest, right? In terms of shares held, 30% of shares outstanding are held by insiders of Dillard's, right? And again, if you're just joining, I'm not here to tell you to invest in Dillard's. I'm only presenting thoughts and opinions, and I'm trying to draw comparisons of Dillard's to GameStop and allow me to pull it all together. Hope you stay with me for that. So strong operating free cash flow, decent balance sheet, right? And I always use Yahoo Finance also to clarify, just for general overview of information. If I want like real factual numbers of Dillard's, I'm going to go to their investor relations page, right? Which I was doing a little bit of research there as well, and I'll maybe show you some stuff later there. But here's just a general overlook, right? Of maybe some report in like 2021, 2022, because I don't know exactly where this information's from. If it's from Dillard's specific website, right? Their investor relations. I know it's absolutely there, and I'm looking. Okay, this quarter was exactly like this. This year was exactly like that. I mean, of course, I can find the location of the data. I'm not saying it's illegitimate. I'm just saying if you want to go deep on the data and quarter by quarter, year by year, you should go to investor relations. This is just for like overview. But as an overview, the business seems to operate efficiently, right? They have good return on assets, equity, simple stuff right there. But most importantly, profits, right? Profit margin, operating margin. And what's interesting, like, okay, well, they have a lot of shares outstanding held by insiders. And I did a little research, and this is a company owned by a family named the Dillards, right? Or Dillard. So they created Dillard's, a chain, right? So what is Dillard's, you might ask? You might have never heard of it. I was only slightly familiar with it prior to researching it. Dillard's operates retail department stores in the southeastern, southwestern, and mideastern areas of the United States. Its stores offer merchandise including fashion apparel for women, men, and children, and accessories, cosmetic, home furnishings, and other consumer goods. As of January 29, 2022, the company operated 280 Dillard stores, including 30 clearance centers and an internet store at dillards.com. It also engages in the general construction activities. The company was founded in 1938 and based in Little Rock, Arkansas, by a family named Dillard. So look at all the names: Dillard, Dillard, Dillard. Let's see a couple other common ones here. Nope, I guess Dillard's the only common one here. But when you look into the company, right, a lot of like family members work for it one way or another. This is just key executives here, right? And again, just an overview. If you look at investor relations, you look at the website, you look at who specifically owns the shares. There's a lot of Dillards that own a lot of shares, right? So what I'm saying here is there's a lot of insider ownership. Same as GameStop now, where they're compensated in shares. They own a lot of shares. So if the company succeeds, they succeed. So they're driving success at that upper level because they have aligned interest. Because now management is shareholders themselves. And now GameStop is kind of building the same thing. And this is another retail company. But beyond that, GameStop's also doing Web3, right? And they're trying to get into these different growth patterns. And gaming is a huge thing. And beyond retail, there's so many different things I really believe they can do. And I think there's a lot more we're not even thinking about yet in the big picture, in like the 5 years out plus, right? So long as the company executes, that's what'll help them grow. And I really believe in Ryan Cohen and them to do that. And on top of it, you have a passionate group of shareholders on top of potentially massive hundreds, thousands, whatever you want to think, right? Percentage of short interest. I don't want to get into that too much. I just want to focus on like fundamentals these days, because what you see what GameStop's doing and what I'm going to show you here with Dillard's, you realize it's all about shareholder value. And honestly, at the end of the day, that short interest, it's just going to bubble up naturally if it's there, right? That's just my opinion. And this is also a heavily shorted company, right? So go right here and you'll see 1 year. It's done pretty well, especially considering how the rest of the market's been. 5 years, and you're like, holy cannoli. And look at since January of 2021. At this point right here, what made me even research this stock? I think I sent myself the screenshot, or I could pull it up, but it's the Bloomberg terminal. Someone posted on Twitter, and it was when GameStop was short at 180% at the time. And the next most shorted stock was Dillard's. And at the time, it was 92% of the float short. And I said, what the heck? What's happened with that company since? And I looked, and I'm like, God damn, look what's happened here, right? This is interesting. And look at this, right? I showed you the statistics. Look at the financials. Okay, pretty good. Operating expense, whatever. You get down here to like net income, right? They actually have EPS, strong EPS every single quarter. But look, their revenue is not even grown that much. It's not even done that much differently, right? Like over the past 5 years, it's actually gone down quarter over quarter, 4 quarters in a row. It's not that like great in terms of growth here. But how is this company going up so much? Because individuals are being compensated in shares. And on top of that, the company has been buying back a lot of stock, right? Look, this is their revenue. Again, not changing that much. This is yearly. This is in terms of, or sorry, quarterly. And this is with COVID right here, right? And Dillard's net income. See, strong net income. And what do they do with that net income? They started paying dividends. And they started buying back stock. Look how much stock they bought back over time. So consistently, they just created a smaller and smaller pie for short sellers, right? And if you look at their short interest, over time it hasn't even changed that much in terms of shares. It fluctuates here and there, but it consistently has some short interest, and it consistently buys back stock. And on top of that, they're paying dividends, right? Let me show you one more thing. Then I'm going to check chat. Right? So check it out. And again, I'm not saying GameStop will definitely issue dividends, but I think it's a possibility, because when you see a company doing something like this, I think they're really delivering tremendous value for their shareholders. But I think GameStop has a lot of growth before they do anything with dividends. So what you see here is they consistently raise their dividend over time. So any executive that's held shares over a long period has been getting dividends, right? And then a special dividend at the end of 2021 of $15, and then again at the end of 2022. $30 worth of dividends on a $300 stock. That's like 10% worth of special dividends. That's incredible that the company can do that. And they're delivering value to shareholders, and their executives are shareholders, so it makes sense. And I really envision GameStop having the same kind of mindset, maybe not necessarily in the same way, but I think things like buying back stock is absolutely on the table if they continue to stack cash, right? And they don't necessarily make any acquisitions. And then dividends down the line, if they're very efficiently operating, which I believe they will be, and they're strongly growing, maybe it's on the table. I'm not sure. We'll see. All right, time to check chat. Came out of the gate on fire there. I like the stock. I'm very happy and grateful GameStop. Me too. Coffee House, Star and Pirate Flag. Who is Rico? Cosmo Hull is saying that. Well, it's good. Danzo, thank you for being here. Marantz, you're here. Appreciate you, man. What's up, Tetron? Hi, Marantz. Gang's all here. Yeah, so just looking into like some comparisons with Dillard's today in terms of delivering shareholder value. Hey, let's go GameStop. Let's fucking go Tetron. Let's go. Thank you all for being here. But yeah, so the dividend history. Then if you look at the insider activity, there's no like major activity, right? You'll see some buys and some stock awards, right? Stock options. But then you'll see some slight sells, but most of it is just accumulation of shares over time. If you zoom out, right? This is more of a shorter term time frame, and it's very few shares when you're looking at it. See, acquisition, direct. Shares held. It's just across many different people. But it's one of those things where it's a family-run company, so you have a lot of other people that kind of join the company, and they're essentially looked at as like family, or at least that's how I would envision it. But what I'm trying to see here as a whole is that a lot of the company's employees are actually shareholders, and I really think GameStop is trying to go in that same direction. Then just to show you guys some general Dillard's investor relations, just for context. Let's go. Yeah, so this was just another declaration of their quarterly shares, and then another special dividend of $15. Dividend follows the company's continued strong financial performance for the first 3 quarters of 2022. In a joint statement, Dillard's Chief Executive Officer, William Dillard II, and President Alec Dillard noted, again, see, 2 Dillards right there, "We are happy with the board's decision to grant another special dividend. It is truly rewarding for us to return value to all our shareholders, our associates, who represent the majority of our shareholders, have worked hard this year to achieve great results that allow us to pay that special dividend." Again, not saying GameStop's necessarily doing dividends, but what I'm saying here is you have a company that's executing on giving shareholders value and focusing on that, and just seeing how the company's been able to squeeze their shorts, right? And this is just one example of short squeeze, right? And it's more than the short squeeze because the company's managing their capital properly. And I just see like this is something that's definitely possible without like massive revenue growth. I feel like a lot of people think, oh, or like the bears say, right? Oh, GameStop could never show big revenue growth, right, or anything like that, right? So how could the stock ever make any kind of big moves, even if there's short interest, this or that? But I think it boils down to this, and this is a fantastic example. Tetron, fresh maker, thank you for being here. You're the GOAT. Always remember you now for helping me with the audio that day. Let's go. Ooh. Let's go. Appreciate all you guys that show me love on Twitter too. Gotta keep tweeting more. Been slacking a little on there this week, past week or two. But yeah, again, just to show you guys, generally with Dillard, see, buying back a lot of stock, seeing their shares outstanding decrease. Especially here, they started buying back aggressively, and they issued those major dividends. At the time, they saw the stock massively being shorted. And then if you want to look at Dillard's actual short interest, it's still fairly shorted right now, but I feel like a lot of things kind of are just relative to the market we're in. They're just pretty consistent short interest over time. You know, nothing too crazy. Pretty decent percentage of the float, but if you look historically, of course, it doesn't go back that far. I'm pretty sure January 2021, I saw it was literally 90%. Maybe it wasn't even that much, right? But that just again kind of proves it doesn't even matter like necessarily the percentage of short interest. It's just about like the supply and the demand of the shares. At least that's how I view it. Yeah, so that was pretty much it for Dillard's. Just kind of threw these links together to show you guys tonight on the stream. Just thought this was interesting in terms of drawing comparisons. And to be clear, fully disclosing, I'm not invested in Dillard's in any way. I just think it's interesting looking at it. It's like, wow, this is a company that did pretty well throughout 2022 while other companies were doing crappy. And on top of it, it seems like they're doing it right now. They're at literally like a 52-week high. That's kind of crazy. So it's just really nice to, I feel like, draw that comparison and see a company that kind of sort of similar boat as GameStop, and they've been able to execute through strong leadership, or so it appears so. But again, I just started researching the company, looking into it, so if you have any interest in this, please do research on it. Don't blindly ever throw money at a random stock. Always do due diligence and research. What do you think of BBBY, Coswas, Big Space Call later on Twitter, GameStop BRB, BBY, GME strong together? Honestly, I'm not so sure about Bed Bath & Beyond. I think maybe there's somehow, some way, GameStop gets Bye Bye Baby. It's a part of some big, great master plan, but I don't know. I just would have to see, like, probably something with Teddy, too. It'd have to be something very bizarre. And it'd have to be so cheap for GameStop. But I don't know. I just think that guy Kaz, too. I don't really, he's interesting. Let's see what he's saying right now. He's certainly a character. What's his name? But I appreciate you being here, Coffee House. What's that guy's name? I'm losing it here. God, yeah, that's his name. Will it pop up? I bet if I put tomorrow's payday, you know what that means? Fresh maker, you know what's up. Yeah, what's tomorrow? Tuesday? Nice. I get paid on every other Wednesday, so we're almost matching paydays. Look up for BBBY. I want to see Kaz. I just want to see Kaz. That's why I'm doing this, guys. I don't know. The thing with Bed Bath & Beyond, to be honest with you, is just have so much debt. And, like, I don't know. I just think that's very difficult to manage right now. But, honestly, I haven't done full amount of research. So, if you're in Bed Bath & Beyond, you know, I'm sure you've done more due diligence than me. So, I wish you the best of luck. What's his name? Somebody help me out here. What's his name? Kaz. Can't stop, won't stop. I'm here, bro. The Uber driver's gonna do something dangerous. That's not funny, Marantz. 50K shares, buddy. GME. Yo, Marantz. What up, Jay? Yeah, I don't know his name, but I'm sure he'll pop up on my feed soon. I'm just curious what he's saying right now. It'll pop up later. But pull up my favorite company. And yeah, also definitely want to check this out. I saw the Buckled In. I believe that's what it's called here, right? With oh yeah, Buck's Intergalactic Closet with the little collection here that dropped. So I definitely want to try and play this game. Maybe not right this second actually, but I want to give it a shot. Don't have any of these NFTs though, so I'm gonna play with like the free one or whatever they have on there. Malash or something like that. It's gonna be a bankruptcy. I'm in and out at work. You're good, Marantz. No worries. I always appreciate you being here. You're the man. Kaz Malaj. Ah, thank you, Jay. Let's see. Is he shadow banned? Where is this guy? Why is he like not on my feed? Did he like block me or something? Like, I can't find him. I don't know why. Out of all the companies in the world, what made you choose GameStop? I mean, there's many reasons. It all started, I think, with just the commotion and the noise, and then researching it and realizing what I believe to be going on behind the scenes with like the short interest and everything like that. But way beyond that, I saw an amazing company that had a great opportunity to grow, and that's just something that's bubbled underneath. And I just see a great company that can do great things with strong leadership. And I've just learned a lot, like things insider ownership. If you're watching before, I was talking about Dillard's. When I was researching Dillard's and seeing how a company can deliver shareholder value despite the revenue not even growing, I just think that's a really powerful thing. And it shows how much leadership really, really matters. What is that guy's name? It's driving me crazy. I can't find it now. Kaz, what's his name? That's literally his name. How is he not coming up? I'm telling you, he blocked me or something. I don't know. Where is he? Try one more. Nope. I don't know. Whatever. Moving on. I think I should try and play this. Let's see Bucks Intergalactic. Oh, this is Intergalactic Closet. Buckled In is the marketplace's first browser-based endless runner game brought to you by the GameStop NFT blockchain team. Awesome. So, oh, see, I don't even, damn, did the website look like this I was on here last time? No way. See, this is really where it starts, guys. I just think individuals like me and individuals like yourself just starting to play these games and just even try them out and like they're like, yo, let's just hop on tonight like with your friends when you're bored. It just starts like that, right? Like it starts small, and in the long run, just individuals just like the company and support the company. I just think overall that helps everything. It's really as simple as that. It's exciting seeing these games coming in here, and I definitely want to play this right now since it's in browser. Hopefully my laptop can handle this. This guy. This guy Cause. But yeah, it's definitely interesting how GameStop hasn't had a lot of volume in a long time, right? I think that is very interesting, right, to say the least. And you just have to wonder, as individuals continue to withdraw shares in DRS shares, how much of a factor is that? And ultimately, it comes down to supply and demand, right? So long as there's demand for shares, where is the supply truly? At what point do positions have to be changed around? Like, there's just so many X factors, right? And so long as the company is just always focusing on what they're doing and growing, and Web3, right? This is what their next step is and how they're trying to evolve and kind of move their stores to being only profitable stores, close down the Kentucky distribution center, right? Narrow things down, shift. Unfortunately, I have to lay people off, but that's part of their transition. Doing all those sorts of things, just focusing on the growth and getting into Web3, right, where I really believe they can profit immensely. And just with their name, GameStop, right? It's a household name. It's an OG name, or at least I believe it is. And I love the name. I think you love the name if you're watching this. And I think that really all comes into play in the long run. Let's see if we can lower settings here. Oh, it's already on the lowest. Okay, so I guess, yeah, so these are the fits, right? It'd be pretty cool eventually if they make it where people are going to be able to, like, make their own bunny, right, that you could sell on the marketplace. I think that'd be awesome if anybody could put one on there. Of course, there'd be featured ones in some ways, but... Oh, is this music dumb loud for you guys? It might be. XBit, thank you for being here. And it's Malige. Ah, thank you. Okay. We're going to look this guy up real quick. I have to see what he's saying. My goodness. Where is he? He's hiding. Oh, bruh. No pie. Yo, you're a bum. Why are you talking about Marantz like that? You're a clown, bruh. Marantz just speaks the truth. It's as simple as that. Oh, he follows me. I'm honored. Breaking news. It's breaking. Our new CEO, Executive Officer, Mr. Cohen, might send an official, extremely important message to Bed Bath & Beyond shareholders either tonight or tomorrow morning pre-market. F the fake mainstream media. Piece of crap Kramer and Brian Suzzy. This isn't a picture of you at the entrance. I was in a message I received on a LinkedIn by an employee of someone I visited last time in New Jersey. I wanted by Bed Bath & Beyond, but feel the same. I want a piece of Bed Bath & Beyond short squeeze. First and Eagles. Yeah, they're not going to merge. I'm sorry.
Today, guys.
This guy's DJing some songs, you know. Alright, I'm not going to clown on him too much, but it's just funny. Kaz doing Kaz. ETF in focus on meme stock mania's 2-year anniversary. Really? Strength in GameStop. Can its 14% jump turn into more strength? Outperforming. I just want to see the explanations, right? Like, I hate to give these clicks, but I have to know, like, what are they saying, right? Like, what do they even, like, what's the excuse these days? And you just have to wonder how, like, every single day the stock can move like 8%, like peak to trough. I feel like at minimum each day now the stock is really moving like 10%, 8%, 12%. And I'm talking like maybe it was down 4%, then it finishes the day like up 8%, 7%, something like that, or even vice versa. I feel like we just see that happen more and more now. And it's only on like this many shares traded, right? Or sometimes even less. Look at average volume right now, 5.2 million shares. It's a very low amount of volume. Despite that, though, it'll move the stock a lot. And I feel like you see a lot of these other names, right? Like GNS and AMC and Bed Bath, whatever. There's a lot of volume on major moves for the stock. Whereas GameStop, there simply isn't. And like there's relatively some information or some hype flowing around those names. Whereas GameStop, I just really don't feel like there's hype, right? Like, let me clarify what I mean by that. There's absolutely hype. I think individuals absolutely like the stock. But it's not like, in my opinion at least, you're more than welcome to disagree. I see it as individuals just buy shares when they can. They have a long-term viewpoint now. They just like the stock, right? Like they're looking at things in the long term. And they're just buying shares when they can, here and there. I don't really think there's like a day like Friday, just up 14%. I don't think suddenly lots of people, like individuals, were just meme stock buying, meme rally starting. Like, how do people that aren't investing in GameStop really think? In my opinion, I just think it's crazy. How do you really think like the stock just randomly moves like that all the time? Like, it just, you have to at least think like there's something that just ain't right about that, right? Like there's something that's just kind of off here. Like that's really what it boils down to, because there's no other company that's consistently having massive moves like that. I mean, yes, Bed Bath is here and there, but there's like things that are swirling, things that are developing. What has GameStop done that's made it move like 14%? You know what I mean? Like it just, and it's on limited volume where those other names are getting big volume. So I just think that's kind of something interesting. And let's clown on these articles in a second. Yo, Xbit, causes a legend, true hero. Yeah, I mean he's an interesting dude. He's definitely an interesting dude. Coffee House. Yo, Danzo. The gang's communicating in the chat. The phrase meme stock refers to a stock that gains immense attention on social media platforms like online forums like Reddit, Wall Street Bets, and Robinhood. Meme stocks are triggered by small traders who cause a short squeeze on the stock. So blah, blah, blah. Inside the meme mania, which again, at the end of the day, of course, they put these two names together, force associate. Make it look like, oh, Ape is up huge while GameStop's falling. Meanwhile, Ape is diluting. And in my opinion, the name meme stock, or the saga of meme stocks, or meme stocks, right, whatever you want to call them, all started with the fact that GameStop is just so massively, potentially, a problem, in my opinion. I think that whole mantra of GameStop and, oh, they're all the same play, there's a reason that's been like that, or said that way for a long time, so that for the long run, the play could always be, the association could always be GameStop and the other names. And I just think, it's just psychological type of trick behind the scenes. But just my personal opinion. You're more than welcome to disagree. And of course, I could be totally wrong. I'm just speculating here. Just sharing thoughts and opinions. Bed Bath & Beyond, GME, and AMC are among top 10 talked about stocks. 8 stocks such have amassed a total of $7.5 billion in market capitalization. Financial Times noted that GameStop raised $1.8 billion in the past 2 years, thanks to a 20 times jump in shares in January 2021. AMC has raised $2.8 billion from sales of equity, new debt, and luring big investors, according to FT calculations. You gotta love how they put this in here, right? Luring big new investors, making it sound like, oh, bullish for AMC. They got these big time investors in here, this and that, right? All are not successful, though. Bed Bath & Beyond, however, is on the verge of likely bankruptcy and recently disclosed receiving a notice of default from the bank JP Morgan Chase. Cineworld, one of the sought-out cinema chains, filed for bankruptcy protection in September. Meme rally in 2023. See, like, how does the meme rally just always come back? You gotta wonder, right? Like the stream, Ken, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. True hero. Yeah. Cause he's goofy. He's goofy. I don't want to, crap on him too much, but I don't know. I think he's just too much. He's literally wanted in the Bed Bath & Beyond distribution center. That's crazy. While the trend fizzled occasionally in 2021 and 2022 due to rising rate worries and share market crash, the sheer return of risk-on sentiments this year was boosted the meme stocks once again. Some stocks like MicroStrategy, Coinbase, AMC Entertainment, and Peloton have exhilarating solid rallies in the first few weeks of this year, the Street article noted. The turnaround is the cryptocurrency and technology market has mainly bolstered the meme rally in 2023. Just trying to, I feel like, dismiss, the video game company, of course. Word of caution, of course. Against the backdrop below, we might highlight meme stock ETF. Underlying Sola Active Roundhouse Meme Stock Index consists of 25 equal weight U.S. listed equity securities that exhibit a combination of elevated social media activity and high short interest. The meme ETF is the first ETF globally explicitly designed to track the performance of meme stocks. The fund charges 96 basis point in fees, which means 0.69% of. That's actually hilarious if they did that on purpose. Not gonna lie, of all things, right? But 0.69% in fees. The fund's top 3 holdings are Lucid Group, 5.69%. I guess that's because of all the hype right now, right? Tesla, 5.25%. A lot of volatility there, makes sense. A lot of talk on that always. Coinbase, 4.43%. Fund has gained 26.1% this month as of January 27th. However, the fund is off 38.1% past year. All right, well, that was a pretty stupid article. Strength seen in GameStop. GME, can its 14% jump turn into more strength? Wait, look how long day of work. Time is 10 o'clock. Can it stretch into strength? And I don't know. This is where, guys, I think I'm a little nuts sometimes. Maybe I'm too tinfoily hat. But are these people writing these articles reading so in-depthly that, Ryan Cohen's book, the clock, the picture of the clock in there that people put, isn't it 10 past 10 or something? Or no, maybe it's 10 past 2. I don't know. But is that a subtle, maybe that's too much tinfoil, right? That's crazy. But that'd be hilarious if it's some subtle, message with that. It's over. Pack it up, guys, right? News media is trying to promote AMC split as a bullish thing now. I know, I heard. It's crazy. And I think it's unfortunate because, I don't know, I just think somehow someone out there is still going to read into it and think oh, this is this or that. Oh, it could be a big thing. But it's just dilution, wrapped in a gift box, right? Bye-bye, baby. Let's go. I don't know, Coffee House. We're going to see. Honestly, I don't think it's that likely. But if it happens, I'll give you credit. I'll say that. Look at that bag holder. Damn, fresh maker coming in hot. But yeah, should look at Friday's price action in terms of the candlesticks. Also, I want to clown on this. Rallies 14% last trading session to close at 22.82. This move can be attributable to notable volume with a higher number of shares being traded than in a typical session. This compares to the stock's 9.2% gain over the past 4 weeks. Okay, notable volume, right? So let me show you something here. Yes, it is pretty notable when you look at how things have been. The last time we had this much notable volume, right? Right here. How much volume is that? You see top left, kind of top left there, 24 million. So that was double this. That's only 12 million. But when you zoom out, right? That's nothing relative to some of the volume we used to get. Sorry, I know XFit, you want the RSI there, but I'm gonna take it off right now just to show the volume real quick. Oh, that didn't even help. I guess it's because of how zoomed in. Let's see. Um, bruh. Okay, so this is now weekly candles, and now, of course, this is hiding away. But the point I'm kind of making here is obviously there's way more volume in here, in here, in here. Each cycle now, there's a little bit less volume. And I just think each cycle, there's a little bit more DRS, right? It's as simple as that in my eyes, in terms of my thesis there. I don't know why the volume isn't showing. I guess it's because it's just, oh no, it is showing. It's just literally that low, right? Like, see, look how low it dropped off here in this time period. Each day, 2.42 million, 3.27, 2.9 million. But then you're going back here. Look how much more volume there was in each of these days. 40 million, 57 million, 30 million, 60 million, 98 million. So much more. We haven't had any noticeable volume like that, right? In a very, very long time. And now here, this is noticeable volume. And it can move the stock 14%. Like, it's crazy. And then this period here, too. Look how much the stock moved up on not even that much volume. Again, here, not even that much volume, and it makes such a massive move. So you have to think when there's a massive influx of demand, whether it's shorts covering or a massive bull buying in just from the company turning around and becoming more successful, right? And when I say bull, I mean some kind of hedge fund or whatever, right? Whatever it winds up to be. If there's like big money coming in just because of strength of the company, or whether it's just funds having to buy GameStop because people are investing in ETFs, the market becomes stronger again. So naturally money flows into GameStop. One way or another, as long as money's flowing in, at some point, it will take less and less money because it would be less and less supply against more and more demand. It would take less demand to meet the supply as individuals just continue to directly register shares. And I think that's just kind of what we're seeing here. That's my thesis around that. The guy on the picture. Tetron, do you know what they say about us outside our circle? Have you watched the news? Honestly, XBit, I try not to watch the news. It's so freaking negative. I feel like it just puts me in such a bad mindset sometimes. But yeah, they just constantly just bash GameStop for like all this other like craziness. And like I'll show you Bed Bath, right, in terms of like the volume thing. Right? Like this was a massive, massive run. 400 million volume, 261, 174, right? Tons and tons of volume in this period. But prior to that, there's just one random huge candlestick day of volume. That was Ryan Cohen's initial buy, and this was all the drama when he sold and this and that. Then here, another short period where randomly they ran up. But again, see, not that much volume. But now the biggest volume days have been here, or just as much volume as this time period, right? Where it's like, I don't know. I mean, I'm not drawing anything like that bizarre in terms of a conclusion, but look how much volume came back here. And it's almost as much as here. And look how much this volume moved the stock here. But look how much it moved this time. And I'm not saying Bed Bath can't go up more, right? It could still squeeze more. I don't really have that much research and due diligence on it. I'm just here comparing it to GameStop. Like a lot, when I talk about these other names, I just focus on GameStop. I don't read into the companies other much, so if you have due diligence on it, I think every individual should do what they want. But I'm just drawing conclusions relative to GameStop. And I'm just not so sure about Bed Bath. I wish everybody ended the best. But in terms of GameStop, when you see like not that much volume even comes, and then it can just move the stock like 14%, right? And you see like this big influx of volume causes it to run from like what, $20 here up to a high of 50. That's a 150% move on this little like influx of volume. And then this influx, look how much it moved it. And look at the original influx, right? So it seems like each little bump of volume each time now can just move it like that much more. And I just think that's the result of individuals pulling shares into their own name and just booking them directly their name, holding them DRS, and insiders just holding, insiders holding a strong amount of shares and just leading the company and not selling. They're not, none of them are selling, right? They're just holding. They just like the stock. Who's Rico? I'm not sure. What do you mean, who's Rico? Adjust the camera real quick, get some water. It's such an interesting chart, right? Like whenever I just take a moment to look like the yearly chart or something, I just imagine how it is, and I just think, right? I go kind of like this, and I just imagine like this could go here, this could go here, it could go ooh, ooh, ooh. Like I just imagine or like envision all the different ways it could possibly like play out. But crazy world out there, that is for sure. Morant's brother. Oh, Rico is Morant's twin brother. He got a very different personality. No, actually, I haven't ever seen anything about Rico. Or I. Okay, that makes sense. I mean, maybe I did. I don't know. I wasn't really ever sure what people meant, but now that makes sense that that's Morant's brother. The volume find is interesting on BBBY. I think so too. Oh man, I'm so tired today, guys. Crazy. So much on my mind. Just so much focus. But I think on when you're so much is on your mind, it's just that you're your own worst enemy. That's what it is sometimes. Just gotta like refocus in. Let's see. GameStop is progressing well. Oh wow. While maintaining a sturdy balance sheet. I'm surprised. Let's see where the negative comes in this, right? Companies have been making robust efforts to fortify infrastructure and technology as part of its digital transformation efforts. Games have been increasing product catalog across consumer electronics, PC gaming, collectibles, toys, and other categories. This video game retailer is expected to post quarterly loss of 16 cents per share in its upcoming report, which represents a year-over-year change of 66%. Revenues are expected to be $2.17 billion, down 3.8% from year-ago quarter. Not that any of that really means much. Like, where are these getting these estimates, right? Like, whatever. Company's not issuing guidance. I'll just keep watching what their actual earnings are, not predicting. But overall, the market went down today, so it kind of makes sense why GameStop will just kind of bleed down the way it did. But then again, there's plenty of days the market's been up, and then it does that as well. That volume 5 is interesting on BBY. I already read that. Brother Man, how's the Zen life? I try and be Zen as much as I can. I feel like I have to keep working on that, But it's tough to just relax. It's such a busy, noisy world. Like, I don't know if I seem like relaxed sometimes. Believe me, guys, people don't know me in real life. Like, I can get mad stressed and crazy. So, like, I'm just like everyone else out here, So, don't ever put me on a pedestal or anything like that. Kaz saying Rico again. Checked out his vid. Be back. Heading to Fritter. Oh, I see what you guys are saying. Oh, he's talking about Morance's brother. Like, what the? Bro, people are so weird. Like, Kaz, that guy is strange. Or I don't know. I'm not like entirely caught up on all the situation. I'm probably do some more research after this. But it's interesting. You guys are talking about that. Even back to Fritter. Oh, so I see. There's like what's it called? Oh yeah. Thanks for tweeting it out. There's like a Twitter space. I forgot to find. I don't even know if you do Twitter spaces on here. Shout out to all you guys liking this right now on Twitter. I appreciate you. Danny with the retweet. Respect. Oh yeah, I didn't even try to play Buck. Let's try to do that real quick. GME will mimic Tesla's squeeze, but infinitely higher. I think you're right, Movier. I really do. I think it really has to do with the fundamental squeeze. I don't know if you saw before. You want to go back in the live stream? I was talking about Dillard's, and it was a company where a majority of the holders, right, of stock, 30% of shares outstanding right now, are held by insiders, and a large majority of those insiders are people with the name of Dillard. So it's like a family-run company, but it's like the family mentality. When you just think of like a family company where it's like if you come work there and you're good to the company and you're good to the family and you respect the business, a lot of times the family's very good to you. And I feel like in this instance, how they would be very good to their employees is compensating in shares. And it's just kind of an example of a company that was able to deliver like tremendous shareholder value. Because if you look at Dillard's, and if any of you missed this before, definitely go back and check that out if you have a chance. Just a company that's been able to deliver a lot of shareholder value, right? Like look at their performance over time. They have 2 special dividends. Look at that, a $15 dividend. I normally pay a 20-cent dividend, 2 $15 dividends. Massive price improvement to cite. Look at the stock market, other stocks over a 2-year period, right? And tell me you're going to find another stock like this. And again, not telling you to invest in Dillard's. I'm just saying this is an example of a company that didn't even raise its revenue massively or do anything that dramatic. They just went down the route of like, we're profitable. We're just going to return a ton of capital to shareholders and just burn the shorts. Just something to look at or reference. Did Tesla have any synthetic shorts when it squeezed or just regular shorts? I think that's a good question, Danzo, and it's one of those things we'll truly never know. There's no way to really tell just because of the way things are reported. And I really think that's what like the whole, naked shorts or just synthetic shares or however you want to look at it, it all boils down to the reporting. And it's like we don't exactly know how everything's reported and how everything lines up at the end of the day every single day. And I feel like nobody truly does because of how complex our financial system is. And that's what it really comes down to. You always think, oh, somebody has it. Oh, this information's somewhere. And it's like, yes, kind of. But for example, swaps, right? I bring this up a lot, but it's a perfect example of it. Where if you have short interest or a stock shorted through an equity swap position, then it simply is not reported. It does not come up in the short interest. It's as simple as that. And that's a perfect example with the Archegos situation. They were shorting a stock and it was tied against their long positions in those streaming names. And those streaming names absolutely tanked like 50, 60, 70%, some of those names. And they didn't even hold that much of the stock. It's like, how did it tank that much? Of course, I guess limit orders and other things going on. But the stock they were shorting only had like 8% short interest and it ran up like a couple 100% right after they went out under. So it's like the way things are reported, I think absolutely Tesla had some synthetic shorting going on one way or another, or some short interest that maybe didn't necessarily show up. And things like going into the S&P 500 ultimately really helped them burn the short sellers and just accelerate the growth of the company because one, the company was focusing on what they were doing. And two, when you get into the S&P 500, naturally tons of funds have to buy in. Think about any ETF that owns the S&P 500, any mutual fund, people's retirement accounts. One way or another, they're buying into GameStop if it's in the S&P 500. So that would be absolutely massive. And at that point, that would mean the company's succeeding and growing and has positive EPS, right? All those things going. So it's very hard to short a company like that because now you're looking at a company that's just successful. So I really think, over time, what I've come to realize, and I think a lot of people out there have come to realize, all of it boils down to like fundamentals now. Everything is fundamentals and success of the company. And all the short interest stuff and the idea of MOAS is all just like sweet, sweet cream on the coffee, right? Sweet, sweet cream on the cake. It's all bubbled up underneath. It's all a natural progression when the company succeeds, or at least that's my viewpoint. And I think that's kind of what happened with Tesla. But I think even on a larger scale, we'll see it with GameStop. And that's my opinion. Tesla was hated on the news back then. That's true, XBet. I do remember that. And I actually have a great return on Tesla for my mom and her IRA. I looked at it and I thought, this company really could have success. And I didn't buy any for myself, or I had a little bit like for a short while, but I didn't like hold stocks like that. I mean, I was in high school at that time. So I was just sticking around. Like, I don't really know what I'm doing at that point. So I was just like, all right, Tesla this. But for my mom, I'm like, I'm going to put just a little bit in her IRA, right? Just a small amount, so much that I was like, if this went to zero, it doesn't matter. Like, she's not even going to notice it. I mean, like, I told her, I didn't do it behind her back. But point is, like, it wouldn't hurt her. But I said, like, if this works out, it would, take you here to here. It'd significantly help you. I think it's worth the risk for this small amount. She's like, all right, let's do it. And it's paid out nicely, right? I did sell some, like, all throughout the run-up, and I still hold a little bit now. So you're right, Danzo. I do remember it being hated so much, and I thought, like, what they're trying to do is so great and so unique. Why is it being hated so much and shorted so much? But that was before I even understand stuff the way I do now. I remember the mainstream media hate. That's why we don't trust mainstream media. Haha. Thanks for the answer, Tetron. Danzo, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. And sometimes, yeah, a question like that, right? You just asked me about Tesla, and then I kind of went into this whole tangent. So that's why I love reading the chat with you guys and appreciate you all being here. Bought Tesla at 300 and sold at 1300. Nice, nice. Well done, XBit. Love to see it. I would have to look at my mom's account to see exactly how I did for like Tesla. But I know there's still like I don't know, maybe like 5. No, it's got maybe a little more shares since the split. I don't know. Very small position, but percentage wise, it's still up well over 1,000%. So I'm very happy that anything I was cashing out to was higher than it is now. Maybe now that it's bounced back, maybe some of it around here, but I was cashing out like the whole way up, like even some of it towards the top, which just feels really good because it wasn't even for me. So, and of course, I don't provide financial advice. I just assist my mom with her IRA. If you look at the financial statements for any bank, you will see the term security sold, not yet purchased. To that is naked shorting. JP Morgan has over 60 billion. Yeah, I've heard that. And I've definitely seen with Citadel as well. I've seen that circulate on Twitter, a couple other ones. But the thing is, it's so hard to say because, yeah, again, it's just with the reporting where it's like, what is that truly? I think it absolutely could be short interest one way or another, but I don't think it's solely that. And I think short interest is probably in another way reported, right? Or in another way showing up like on their financial statements that we just don't quite understand, that wouldn't quite make sense when you think about it, but in some unique reporting way, right? I think there's things like that. But I think it's definitely possible. And also, I would have to research that more because I'm not that familiar with that side of information. Profitability is the most important thing for us. GameStop should be able to do that from now on, hopefully. I think you're absolutely right, Freshmaker. I think they're zeroing in on that. They're focusing on it. They're talking about it. And I think it truly is the most important thing. And it's good they're talking about it to be the most important thing. Because ultimately, right, and I keep going back to this example, like just because it's fresh on my mind, and I read about it a lot this weekend with Dillard's, where it's like the company has been like turning a profit for a while. Like let me pull up their net income, right? So relatively, besides the pandemic little era here, right? They've had net income no matter what. They've always operated where they've had strong net income. And now they've had massive net income because of how past couple years have been. There was like a retail boom, so their business was strong. And then they paid it out in special dividends. So in their eyes, that was the best way to reward shareholders. But my point is, so long as they had this net income and profitability, they're able to operate efficiently and do things like buy back stock or issue a dividend. And when you have a board and people running a company that have these shareholders in mind, and because they themselves are shareholders, so in a way it's selfish, but like in a good way selfish, because if you're also a shareholder, you're like, okay, well, who cares? They're shareholder, I'm a shareholder. They're just running things on top of it. And I think that ultimately allows executives to be like, okay, we have money. Let's return it to shareholders. Let's find a way we can use this capital to create shareholder value, whether it's an acquisition, it's a dividend, it's buying back stock. And I just feel like, I don't know, seeing this example of Dillard's just, and I hate to keep just like putting a huge spotlight on this. I just think it's a fantastic like case study or example. And I want to look into other stocks with solid insider ownership. Like one that I think of off the top of my head, I'm a little bit familiar with, is Fortinet. I'll show you a little bit of this. So net income, they've performed very well. They're in cybersecurity, so it makes sense, right? But look at share, like, so they have strong net income, and look at shares outstanding over time. As their net income started going up, they started buying back shares. And this is a company where if I pull them up real quick, right? And they're not paying dividends because they're still a growth stock. So this could be a case point where it's like, okay, GameStop is trying to grow in Web3 and that's their avenue of growth. So they're not going to pay dividends. They're going to invest in the growth of the company, but they could still do things like buying back stock in the process. And I think this is a great example of that because you can pull up statistics here. Again, Yahoo Finance, good for general data. If I want specific quarter to quarter, annual data, exactly what's going on with compensation in terms of shares, I go to the shareholder website, investor relations. But 18%, 19% more like, of shares outstanding are held by insiders. So this company right here, right, has chosen to buy back stock. They're focused on providing shareholder value with profits. And I think that's just really powerful and just something that, I don't know, just all of a sudden I'm like, wow, this is really what it's about. And I feel like shout out Morantz, right? Because this is what he talks about a lot, and GameStop's long-term path. And he's always been focused on the fundamentals, right? And I see it now. I really, I mean, I've always seen it like with the company, but I feel like
the goal and the primary focus and the alignment of the shareholders and executives, like I understood it, but like I don't know, I just suddenly feel like it just makes so much more sense. Like I don't know, you just feel like enlightened about something, or you just like, oh, like I really get it now. Like I got it, but like now I really, really get it. Like I'm really seeing it. Like I don't know. That's kind of what I felt like this past weekend. Maybe I'm just a little too hyped up, but that's just how I'm feeling lately. Versus by law does not need to be reported. Case closed. For a second, I thought I could buy shares of Fortnite. Yeah, I know. I sometimes when I've said that stock, like a friend, they're like, "Oh yeah, or cybersecurity." Yeah, you know, like you ever hear like Fortnite? I'm like, oh, I mean Fortnite. So yeah, that's funny. Um, but yeah, Fortnite done pretty well over a long period of time, and it just makes you think, like, or me think, in the future, right? Like getting into other stocks and things like that. I really, really am absolutely going to take with a tremendous grain of salt, or I guess that's not the right way to put it. Like a massive factor in whether or not I'll invest in another company in the future is going to be shares held by insiders. How are executives compensated, right? Are their interests aligned? The company's, I mean, things like the company's balance sheet and revenue, all that stuff is like a given. But I feel like the shareholder aspects, right? The shareholder value aspects. Is there a dividend? Does the company seem like they have a dividend on the horizon? Are they buying back stock? What's their commentary in terms of buying back stock and delivering shareholder value? Do they bring that up in their earnings calls? Is it in their earnings reports? Right? I really want to see that stuff. Shareholder value. That's like my new, like, I mean, it's not new. It's important, right? It's always been important. But I feel like when you find that first, and then you go around and you're like, oh, okay, well, they also have a strong balance sheet. Oh, they're getting into Web3. Oh, they also have a strong leader who happened to create Chewy, and he brought his Volition Capital friend, Larry Chang, right? And also, speaking of Volition Capital, I had it pulled up here before. I gotta go back. Hopefully I can find it again. Feel the same way, Tetron. XBit. Appreciate you always being here. Oh my goodness. Okay, I don't want to see that. Why is this? Why is this for me? This is not for me. I don't want to see this. I hate seeing all this stuff in my feed. Like, there's some terrible things going on in the world, and I'm not saying like things don't need to be fixed and this and that, but I just try to keep a GameStop around here when we're on here. You know, GameStop and good things, because there's just so much negative stuff in the world. But damn, where was it? I'm sure I could find it on Volition Capital. So yeah, they just announced like capital commitments on January 26th, which is interesting. And then where was it? That's interesting. Electric toothbrush. It's fancy. So I didn't find it on here. I saw a tweet of it, but it was basically a Volition Gaming, something like that. Gaming businesses. Oh, yes, here we go. Capital and gaming. At Volition, we understand that gaming is culture, and we look to partner with entrepreneurs who are poised to make an impact, to make an outsized impact on the industry via massive scale. Exciting. Investing in gaming becomes a platform to actively advance in the way games are developed, marketed, distributed, played, and spectated. We believe most spectated. See, that's interesting because I've been thinking live streaming and gaming, like GameStop, maybe low key is doing something there, right? Or they're going to get involved with somebody who's doing something there. Just something that's been on my mind. We believe most investors in our space underappreciate the radical influence of gaming on broader consumer culture. At Volition, we understand that gaming is culture, and we look to partner with entrepreneurs who are poised to make an outside impact on the industry via massive scale. Why we're getting involved. Advancements in technology have revolutionized every aspect of the gaming industry. We believe these changes have fundamentally improved the gaming experience and made it more player centric. In particular, the explosion of live gaming has shifted publishers' focus from blockbuster game releases to ongoing player engagement. The result has been a rise of B2B and B2C, business to business and business to commerce platforms that are designed to maximize engagement and ultimately deliver a better gaming experience. We believe the gaming that today's generation of gaming entrepreneurs are building superior games and gaming services that establish passionate, long-term consumer relationships. These companies are a natural fit for our focus at Volition Capital. Distribution platforms, the Wii, cross-platform with Battle Royale. Oh, I see. They're saying it went from console-specific to cross-platform. Expansion to a battle pass. Marketing channels like GTA to hangout spots. Monetization models. Look at that. Look at what they're showing right there, guys. Check it out. Have you seen this place before? Have you ever seen it? Have you been there? I've seen it. Game purchases have evolved from one-time transactions, disc-in-box model, to free-play model games with in-game monetization, driving LTV expansion. Game evolutions rather than a sequel model. Major gameplay evolutions can occur with the same core game environment without fracturing the player base. That's true. Social gameplay styles. Social gameplay has moved from 2 to 4 local player, shared couch, to massive multiplayer online world supporting 100 plus player battles. Wow, it's actually a really great write-up. I actually didn't even read this. I just saw like a Twitter screenshot of this, and I thought, oh, interesting. It's probably just a website, right? That's pending. Because again, just remember, guys, like I be working and stuff during the day, so like I just try and catch stuff when I can, and like take a note on it, like, oh, I'll look at that again later. And kind of the style I'm trying to build is like on the stream here tonight, like we'll just research stuff, and like as I'm looking, hey, what happened today? What's going on with GameStop? You'll kind of like get my viewpoint, my research, stuff like that, like how I'm looking at things. So. This is the first time I'm literally seeing this page. But this is like some really interesting, like a really nice, simple breakdown. And it's a really good point about how the gaming industry has evolved. Well, I believe we look for catalyst moments that fundamentally change a consumer's relationship with a product category. We've seen the gaming industry undergo a cascade of transformative changes that have further elevated the role of gaming in players' lives, making it even more core to identity and self-expression. We believe the next great consumer internet company will be built in the gaming space. Oh, do you now? Huh. That's interesting. I might have one that comes to mind. Thank you all for being here. Toothbrushes, scary. Big investment, you know. Never heard of it, never used one. What? No, I'm just kidding. God, speaking of toothbrushes, guys, share something random as heck, right? I might need freaking gum surgery. That would fucking suck, honestly. Because apparently, I don't know, I brushed my gums too much as a kid, or however my dental work was on, or just something that happens to people naturally, or collection of things, right? Maybe I'm just an idiot. I don't know. I brushed away my gums, but my like canine teeth, the gums are so far like receded. They said you should probably look into getting gum surgery. You're gonna have problems down the line. I'm like, bruh, I don't want gum surgery. Like, come on. That sounds painful and not fun, but I'm gonna have to go to look into that soon. So keep you guys posted on that. But before I get into this too, yeah, I gotta show you guys what I had the other day. It was mad good. This is bougie, and you'll see my cracked screen again for the millionth time. Look at this pineapple chicken. Super elite. Mad good. Oh, and this was the... I wish I texted this to myself, right? Terrible screenshot, but I don't know if you can see it. Dillard's being shorted 91% of the float at the time of GameStop's run up, right? When it reported the float shorted over 100%. Trying to see if it pulls up on here. Oh, damn. I just realized my... Damn, it's still up there. Okay. My side little thing here was on slow. A little bit behind. Consumer insight implication. Many top games are massively multiplayer. Games benefit from network effects. Is there more on that? Oh, it's just highlighted. You and your friends are the plot of the game. Games have infinite replay value. I think it's true because there's a lot more customization now and just like open general worlds, things like that. And I feel like Minecraft was low-key a pioneer in that because Minecraft was like first thing I really remember being like super customizable. And I remember playing Minecraft like literally in elementary school. Like I was an OG Minecraft player, right? And actually my cousin's been trying to get me to hop on a realm. He's like, "Yo, you gotta hop on, stream it on Tetron. I'm building a realm." I'm like, I don't know, maybe. It's pretty nostalgic for me, so maybe I'll play Minecraft one night. And honestly, if you guys want to join the realm, I don't know if any of you guys play Minecraft, but we could probably do a group Minecraft game one time. That'd be pretty fun. But yeah, going on all these tangents here. Let's get back to the topic at hand. So Volition Capital here has a little section on gaming. What we believe, just read that. So many top games are multiplayer that creates network effects. You and your friends are the plot. That's the consumer insight, which creates infinite replay value. You're playing the game as yourself, which is where you create like an in-game character, things like that. And I feel like that's where GTA was a big pioneer in that, where individuals always built themselves up. Right, you got to get your car, you got to get your this and that, and just complete all the missions in the game. That's one game I actually didn't really play that much growing up though. GTA, I never really had it. Whenever I was out of friends, I was just like, "Yo, I'm gonna steal a car and just be driving around," like things like that. So, but from what I understand about GTA and seen, it's really about like building yourself up and creating your character. Gaming takes place in public online worlds. In-game performance is tied to identity. So public online worlds, again, Minecraft, Fortnite, Call of Duty. I mean, everything's an online world, right? That's kind of always how it's been. But in terms of it tying to identity, I think with the customization within games now, that's definitely something that's there. And with Web3, owning that customization, that version, right, that character, whatever it may be, becomes more and more exclusive. And even if it doesn't have value, right, you're maybe not necessarily selling it. Like I think there'll be certain items and certain games and things of that nature. But would it be cool to just have your own character in the form of an NFT? Like I don't know, and just being able to go like cross games in some ways, like I don't know, just things like that. Like people just I feel like fascinated in that. Like let me just download the GameStop wallet and just like create. My character is gonna become an NFT anyway, just for free. And like I'll just pay like the $1 to activate the wallet. Like why not? I'm gonna play this game a bunch. And like there might be some stuff I can earn too. And then I can throw it on the marketplace for a few cents. I don't know. I just feel like people get curious about that, and then maybe they get curious about that. They start playing the game, and then they're like, I'm not gonna make a gazillion dollars playing this game. I'll make a few bucks here and there. But I actually just happen to like this game, so I'm gonna just play it, right? So I feel like people have that mindset, and that's kind of just how the ball rolls. And in the same sense, individuals like myself, right? Just like in the stock, and I keep saying I'm gonna start, but I keep jumping around on tabs. But I want to play this game, right? What is it? Bucks Intelligence. Like I want to give this a try simply because I'm investing in the company. It's on GameStop's website, so anything GameStop, right? I want to utilize. I want to try the product, anything that they have out there, and I think that curiosity is a huge factor. And kind of again, you know, alignment of executives, shareholders, and then even on a further level, passionate individuals that just love the company. And I think Ryan Cohen and Larry Chang and some of the other individuals that are on the board, right? They're not doing this because like, oh, it's going to make them rich or this or that. I think they genuinely have passion for GameStop. And Ryan Cohen, he's like what, late 30s, mid 30s. You don't think he ever went to GameStop growing up and stuff like that? It was pretty big when he was even like, right? So if it was big at like 2000, it's 22 years ago, he would be like a teenager at that time. So I mean, it could have been he absolutely could have been shopping there. I think he absolutely has passion for it, right? You don't think that's a factor in it? And Larry Chang, look, he's doing Volition Capital. You think he's like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go spend time on GameStop's board. I have all this stuff going on. Like I'm gonna just do it because I don't think there's an opportunity and because I don't care about gaming, right? I think he obviously one thinks there's money to be made, but I think two, it's a fun project for them, right? Because Volition Capital has their hands in a lot of different things if you look on their website. But Larry Chang is specifically on GameStop's board, and he was specifically Chewy's first ever investor, right? So I think that's just really interesting. I was on Minecraft in early beta. Ayo. Brilliant move, honestly. Invest in things that will bring GameStop revenue without GameStop's capital. Do it. Larry Chang, fuck the world. or for the win. I don't know why I always thought FTW was fuck the world, but I think that's for the win. I don't know why that acronym always reads like that in my head. Since I was young, I always thought, I was like, why would people say that after that sentence? And then I learned, I'm like, oh, For the win. That makes a lot more sense. But still, see, like right there, I just read it, like just sporadically, and for some reason, that's how it like registers in my brain to this day. Players, to get back on topic here, players' abilities and personas are externalized. Games are powerful influencer platforms. It's absolutely true. Look at a guy like Ninja. He blew up on Fortnite slash he helped blow Fortnite up, I feel like. I mean, I don't know. I haven't followed him that much since. I wasn't familiar with him until I saw Fortnite. People were like, bro, have you seen Ninja? This is crazy. Like, stuff like that. And, TikTok, right? There's a huge market for gaming there and just shorts on YouTube, Instagram, swipes. People start to see a game like, huh, what was that game? They check the comments. Somebody commented, someone tell me what game this is. It's a random game on GameStop's NFT Marketplace, right? I think that's how it starts, like really small. Influencer platforms. Watching elite gameplay had value. Games are media products. So I feel like you can interpret that in some different ways. But, at the end of the day, people are watching live streams consistently, watching another individual gaming. I think that's a product in itself, right? That's someone's attention. And everything's about eyes these days, right? Like where people's our attention is. Butcher that sentence right there. Where people have their attention, that absolutely matters. So in terms of a game, if people's attention is there, on top of it, you have the items within the game and then the people watching the game that are fans of the game. So it kind of creates that overall culture, which you see right here. Games are culture. Games rise to tribes, which creates a culture in a sense, right? It all kind of nicely comes together in a unique way. Oh, I was confused. Don't listen to me. Now you're good, XFit. I wasn't really sure what you meant about toothbrushes. Some of our area of focus are listed below, but we are open to meeting founders, tackling all aspects of the gaming ecosystem. Competitive gameplay, esports fan engagement. I've mentioned esports before, so I think that would be super exciting to see something with that. Player coaching, interesting. Cloud gaming, okay, so I guess just gaming on the cloud. Game-based communities, definitely out there already. Influencer creator tools, I guess, people maybe streaming games, things like that. Imagine GameStop had its own like streaming software, things like that. I would absolutely use it, but it would have to be free in some way, right? Because OBS is free. So I think, I don't know, that's just a random brainstorm off the top of my mind here, reading this list. Live game operations, that'd be cool. Real money skill gaming, interesting. I guess like competitive leagues, maybe things like that for some sort of prize with the advertising revenue, things of that nature. MLGs, MILEs. I have to look up what that is to be quite honest with you. Our expertise. Maybe that makes me a fake gamer. I'm just so bad with the abbreviations. As you can see before, for the win, I thought that said fuck the world. Massively multiplayer online game. What if GME buys BBY and turns them into LAN gaming centers? It's an interesting thought, Morgan. But honestly, I feel like if they were going to go the route of like LAN and or gaming centers, I feel like they would go smaller spaces than like like retail stores, and they would maybe want something like that already has like either just like an empty building or just a lot of like outlets and stuff like that because they would need like all the circuit breakers and whatever else would need to be there for that. So I think like LAN worlds, sorry, not LAN worlds, LAN parties or like gaming centers of some kind is certainly a possibility. But at the same time, I feel like a lot of people just like gaming in their house, and that's kind of what makes people happy or just comfortable at the end of the day. It's like, I just came home, had this like long ass day. Like, let me just fire up the PlayStation, fire up the Xbox, fire up the PC, right? So I'm not exactly sure if that's the route GameStop would go, and I'm thinking, if they do something with Bed Bath, it's gonna have to be really unique and really, really only stacked in a way that's extremely beneficial to GameStop in the sense like they would not overpay for anything, right? I think they would have to acquire something in some way that would benefit them very directly for a very good price. And that's why I just feel like it's kind of unlikely because I feel like Bed Bath needs to get as much money as they can to try and cover the whole restructuring and this and that. But also, I'm not that educated on Bed Bath, so just spitting off the dome there. All right, let's see, for the 1000th time. I think it's going to be too laggy on my laptop, honestly, guys. Let's see how this goes. I didn't even read the directions. Yeah, this is not going to work. Oh. 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 Yo, I'm moving so nice. I'm a natural. Fuck. Oh, it just keeps going and you just spawn back in? Okay, that's pretty dope. Oh! Damn, can you be like moving too? Okay, sorry, it kind of runs like trash on here, but... Oh. I guess you get like a few laughs. But I don't know, would you guys want to play some Minecraft or something like that one time? Like, I play League of Legends, play Minecraft. I don't know, I don't have like an amazing computer, so I don't play like too many games. But... like I'm like I like gaming in the sense like my favorite thing to do. Like I don't know if you guys saw my one stream about Mario Sluggers. I love just playing like GameCube games, like Wii games, like with homies, like having people over. And damn, doing nice right now. Ah, I should have said that. Like I just love having the homies over and just running up the Wii games, the Wii Sports, the GameCube games, all that kind of stuff. It's such a good time. Like the Mario Party, Mario Sluggers, Super Mario Wii. NHL Hits or any of the old sporting games are just hilarious to play on GameCube, like FIFA 06. Like it's just fun because you're just drinking beer too and just vibing, like Beerio Kart, all that good stuff. Such a vibe. Sluggers is fire. JPP, you know what's up. Any game you want. Dan, so yeah, I might have to run some games on here. Oh, if you guys want to see, I actually do post Subslug, or I don't post, but my brother has the channel going, which I'm just, putting stuff on there with him, but he's doing all the work on that because my number one focus is obviously Tetron, and I love GameStop, and I want to focus here. But another channel, you'll see me on there, Tetro Unlimited, if you want to look it up. Tetro space Unlimited, posting sluggers on there. Just like edited videos that my brother's doing. He does a great job with it, so if you want to check it out, I think they're pretty good. But again, he's doing all the work on that, so huge shout out to him. Huge shout out to him for always helping me out with my channel when I need it. So we're just kind of playing some games on there, and we kick it back and relax. We just record it and upload, and he does some good editing, some good work with that. So if you guys want to check it out. This game's pretty fun. I'm just kind of bad at talking and playing games sometimes. And that was the worst spawn, but also it's a little bit laggy, so I do apologize for that. Dang. How is Citadel being a market maker such a norm? They control 40% of the market. How is that not a red flag? Significant conflict of interest? Are authorities really looking the other way? Because money. True. I think Ken kind of has a great explanation. And JPP, shout out to you for being here. Appreciate you. Sluggers is fire. And oh damn, I gotta get my charger within a few minutes, guys. Yeah, cause money. Actually, I'll grab it as I speak here. So it's as simple as that. Like it is kind of crazy. They brag on their website like about executing 50% of all retail trades. It's pretty remarkable. But beyond that, it's just like I don't know. I just feel like what GameStop's taught me is a lot of things in this world, really very simply, are controlled by money. And when you realize the Federal Reserve can just keep creating it because they're non-politically affiliated, right? But it seems like whoever's in office seems to kind of control them, or I don't know, they just kind of always just create money anyway, right? It's not, it was kind of created to be like a non-conflict of interest, but at the end of the day, what I'm saying here is like, what just really struck me when I just hit me, it's like, so long as governments just can keep creating money, and individuals are like, their livelihood all depends about money, right? And like everyone's always like, what's the number one stress in everyone's like life, generally speaking, when you look at like everything, it all boils down to money. And when governments can just keep creating an unlimited amount of money at the end of the day, and that's what everybody's most focused on, it's like, I don't know, I feel like that's how that can happen. That's how this craziness starts, where it's like at the end of the day, everyone was just so focused on the money that all of a sudden you have one market maker that controls such a massive amount of things, and you have so many conflicts of interest here and there and this and that. Like, it's so hard in this world to even like believe anything. Like, anything I read, I'm like, how do I know that's true? I'm like, I simply like question any headline, anything at all I read. I literally think these days, I'm like, I genuinely, I don't know who said that. I don't know what the source is. I don't know how legit the source is. Like, there's, like, I just have too much questioning of everything, and everything I've uncovered with GameStop. It's a great case in point because it's like how I thought the market was structured. It's not. It's crazy how it's actually structured in all these complex financial instruments. And then when you see that in like other aspects of the world and like all the craziness just going on in the world right now, it's like, oh my goodness, like what do you even believe these days, right? Like, I don't know. It's just kind of my thought process, but little rant there. The time for LAN parties is over. Nowadays, everything happens on the internet. It wouldn't make sense for GameStop to buy BBB and thus more buildings. Yeah, honestly, I don't think it'd be that likely. But, I like to always leave the door open for anything. But appreciate all the viewers. But, yeah, certainly GameStop. Wow, 8:30 already. Time flies when you're having fun. I think GameStop, like, personally, is going to acquire either like a headset brand. Like when I say a headset brand, maybe not specifically headsets. I just mean like a brand that has to do with gaming, and then that can be just another like household name that they would be able to have in house in some way, and maybe they could start acquiring some brands, just kind of how like Amazon has Amazon Basics. Maybe they can acquire a few different brands and make them under the name of GameStop, something like that. Something with esports and streaming content, but maybe that would be something more of a partnership. You bring on some like big esports players, make them branded by GameStop. It'd be really dope if somehow, some way, they're competent in shares of GameStop. If that was part of their like brand deal, that would be epic. That would be so sick if they could work that out in some way. But I really think, what we were talking about before. I apologize for who said it before. I want to find it. 100% Tetron. Appreciate you, Xbit. Damn it. Who said it before? Somebody had a good point. If you're here, say it was you. That the company's focus was profitability. Right? That's the number one thing that matters. I think it was you, Freshmaker. I apologize. I slipped my mind right now. That the number one focus is profitability, right? So long as they maintain that profitability, especially in a time right now where the economy is the way it is as a whole, if they maintain that profitability, then that balance sheet will stack with cash. They don't have debt, right? And if they have that cash, then valuations of other things are coming down in a bad economy. So I feel like they can use that cash to make acquisitions. But then in the event we're in a strong economy, right? Chances are their revenue will go up, but then maybe those acquisition opportunities aren't there. But then they can go deliver shareholder value by buying back stock, right? Creating a share buyback plan where it'll just decrease the amount of shares outstanding. And as more individuals just hold more and more stock, or just even hold the same amount of stock, if there's less shares outstanding because the company's now buying back shares, that's just, again, less shares outstanding over time. Crazy. Crazy how it all works, right? I mean, just look at things over time. Oh, I don't know, so itchy on the side of my face. Damn, did I finish this? No, I got more water. But yeah, I think I definitely got to do some gaming. Maybe I'll start doing it where it's like Monday and Wednesday nights after my streams. I'll do some gaming, something like that. But I'll have to pre-plan it a little. I have to kind of have more of a setup. Like it's very hard for me to get into like patterns. Like I don't know, I'm kind of like a sporadic individual sometimes. But I'm trying to work on being organized. Look at this post-it note I got here, guys. Organization is key. Self-reminder there. But it's like I'm kind of like sporadic, so like it's hard for me to like just like focus. I'm like, oh, I got this idea, I got this, I got that. So just even getting this stream going up, right, consistently. Finally, I can be on time and actually start at 7 and be here. Have it actually set up. Have the thumbnail. Have the general information. So just bear with me. I got to go brick by brick and keep organizing myself. So maybe down the line, I'll do like gaming afterwards. Like, so it'll be kind of like an all-night stream. Like I'll just literally come home from work, run up my regular stream like I've been doing lately, and then just all of a sudden be like, all right, I'm going to do some gaming after, just till I'm too tired and be like, all right, call it a night. And then also, low key soon, I'm gonna be bringing like a friend or two on, just talk some GameStop, to have some information. Even we might just talk Web3 on gaming, just some small stuff like that. Nothing too crazy. Just a few friends that I typically bounce some ideas off of in terms of just talking GameStop, talking stocks, finance. Oh, sorry, I keep hitting the mic today. Markets as a whole. So I might bring them on, maybe just for like 10, 15-minute segments, things like that, kind of brainstorming, things of that nature. So stay tuned. The stream will definitely keep getting spicier. But let's see. Gotta love this. Cost to borrow, been like 20% for a while now. But at the end of the day, Morant's brought up a good point to me, which I think is true, where it's like cost to borrow, it boils down to like they can pay it when you look at like the conglomerates that are shorting the stock or borrowing the stock. The size of these companies, whatever this fee is, if they want to short it, I think they can find a way to afford it. I think that's the way to look at it. But I think it shows that there's absolutely demand for the shares to be borrowed, because who in their right mind would go into a trade thinking, okay, this stock, it needs to go down 20% just to break even on the cost of making the trade, right? That's like, typically how I look at it, right? With an ETF or a mutual fund, maybe the percentage of the fee can vary. If it's an S&P ETF, right? Like, let me show you. Like, the fee will be like 0.1%. Like, look at SPY. So that means if all the funds they receive each year they have invested, they take this percent, the expense ratio, right? 0.09%, such a small amount. Whereas if you have like an actively managed fund, right, like something like an ARC, 0.75. Some of these funds can be up to like 2%, which is kind of crazy because it's like a massive amount, especially if they're only getting 7% of the year. Then you're only really getting 5%. You're taking a big amount. But my point is, that number, right, it varies. And when you get a really low number, you're like, okay, it makes sense to buy an ETF because a big amount of it isn't an expense, or at least that's my viewpoint. Whereas like cost to borrow is the same kind of idea. Like once you start, damn, I lost my place here. Like once you start seeing the cost to borrow go up, it's like, why would it make sense, right? Like if the ETF expense ratio is massive, it doesn't really make sense to invest in it, because it's like so much of your money would be taken before you could actually make money, no matter how genius the fund was, right? I think of it as the same way with shorting, where it's like, why would you borrow that stock, even if you think it's going to go down? It needs to go down at least 20%, right? Oh yeah, this is where it was. It needs to go down at least 20% just to break even, right? Because this cost to borrow has been like this for like quite a while now. God, I'm jumping all over. Cost to borrow, GME. Like, I think, what's the website that has the chart? Yeah. So see, it randomly spiked up, kind of stagnates off, but for like a while now, right? Since December, well over a month, it's been pretty high. That every once in a while it kind of jumps up. But even when you go back, it's been pretty elevated for a while. And when you just look at other stocks, like it's simply not elevated unless it's an extremely shorted stock. And it's just weird when you look at like what's happening with some of these other supposedly naked shorted stocks, right? Like GNS, all that stuff, right? Or, I'm not saying it's impossible. There's definitely potential of synthetic shares and just shady practices in terms of short selling, again, due to the nature of the reporting and how it works and how everything's just unfortunately not that clear. So I'm not saying it's impossible, but what I am saying is all of those, you're seeing volume, right? Like you're seeing big volume coming in, and you're not seeing like a long-term like massive cost to borrow. And like, I don't know, it's just you're seeing a lot of stories and this and that, whereas like GameStop's cost to borrow is significantly high. It's always difficult to short the stock, right? If you're in like a retail platform. I've never tried it, but as far as I can tell, like I'm always seeing the screenshots of like TD Ameritrade or like iBroker or Interactive Brokers, Fidelity. It's always like hard to borrow, call a representative to short the stock, this and that. So it's like, I don't know, do you just always see that with all these other companies? Like it's just so many strange factors. And again, I try not to focus on this stuff too much, but when you're looking at the company and the fundamentals, that stuff just kind of naturally like shows itself. That's at least how I view it. Where it's all about the company itself, and when you just dig deep, you just start to be like, whoa, that's what's really going on here too. At least that's my viewpoint on it. 100% Tetron, XBit, appreciate you. Remember, cost to borrow is annualized, so it really depends on the length of their trade as the cost calculus from borrowing. It's a very good point, Linda Real. Or did I say it? Linda Real, yeah, Linda Real. I think I said it right. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yes, that's a very good point. I'm glad you brought that up. I should mention that it is on an annual basis, right? So it actually really does matter because that's on a yearly basis. I guess I was saying it from like who in their right mind would take that trade from the standpoint of a long-term trade, right? Of thinking, let me short this stock now. Let me go against this company from where it's at now and make this a long-term position for me. I don't think anybody's having that mindset. But, when you're maybe making a shorter-term sell or short sell, or, again, you're just a massive fund with so much money, it's like that percentage is, that amount is so like minimal. And then, of course, there's all the stock that's been borrowed at like smaller fees than it is now. So, very good point. Thank you for bringing that up. But let's see, did I miss anything in the chat? I'm trying to ever miss the chat here. We're chilling. Looks like we're in good shape. But I thought I had a little bit more notes. Maybe I didn't bring them down. Yeah, I'm sorry. I meant to make a video this weekend, guys, or like from Friday. I was trying to recap. But I just busy and just caught up with stuff. I'm lame excuse. Whenever I say like, oh, I'm busy or oh, I had this or that, it's still an excuse. I do understand that. It's still a lame excuse, but I was busy. Still an excuse. Can't be like that. So, if those of you that don't know that are here right now, I'm streaming every Monday and Wednesday live 7 p.m. Usually till about 8, maybe 9, depending on the day. Today we're probably going till about 9. Maybe wrap it up a little bit sooner than that. But just so you're aware, I'm trying to focus more on the fundamentals, more than the squeeze factors and MOAS this or that. I think, like I've kind of been saying all stream, when you look at the company and what they're doing and how they're trying to create long-term shareholder value, ultimately, if there is that short interest and everything going on behind the scenes, it'll all naturally bubble up so long as the company succeeds and turns profits. And with the company talking about profitability, I look for that more in their next earnings report, more commentary on it, more signs of EPS becoming positive, bottom line being overall profitable, right? Things of that nature. Then, one other thing I forgot to touch on. See, I'm glad I have these notes here. Pen and paper, baby. It's the way to go. Right? Look at GameStop's move on Friday, where it goes from 1950 to 23.30. That's $4. That's, I would say, maybe like a 20% move, right? Roughly 20%. Like, what was it, trough to peak? But like when you look at the volume in here, this is maybe like 8 million in volume, which again, not that much volume to move the stock so much. And when you think about the fact so many individuals are just holding the stock, and the ones we know for absolute certain, right, if you want to use concrete evidence, is DRS, and then there's insiders, and then some institutions are holding, right? Maybe they're swapping them around this way and that, but there's institutionals listed as long. So you'd have to think like, how can this little volume move the stock so much unless there's such limited supply of the share? Like, I really think volume is so important to look at when it comes to GameStop, because it just shows you how like a little bit of demand can go such a long way. And I think it also just shows so many individuals just like the stock, and that's something that just naturally will happen, right? Where it won't take a lot of demand for shares for the stock price to move a lot, because a lot of individuals are long on the stock, or there might be a lot of institutions in it, right? When you're looking at other different companies, because overall it's people who are holding on to it. So if they, and then good news comes out about the company, right? Like look at like Tesla, all of a sudden things are like, oh, now things are great, all of a sudden amazing. Whereas there was all negative sentiment like a month ago. Now the sentiment's great. Look how much the stock is moving. I feel like that stock moves so much because, well, one, there's just so much money and so much drama around it. So I feel like that's kind of a bad analogy for this. But I also feel like, there's a lot of people that just like it for the long term and are just holding in just I like Tesla. I believe in what they're doing and this and that. So be it. But I'm just kind of looking at this chart here as I'm saying that. It's interesting. Like, look at this little pattern GameStop's in. Like, huge run up, trail down. Huge run up, trail down. Huge run up, trail down. Huge run up, trail down, run at the end of the week again. I mean, I don't know. That's the most general explanation ever. But definitely, since this little run up, I feel like the price action these past 2 weeks has been pretty spicy, right? This little spot right here, you got to think like, what's this little like, whoop, doo-doo, doo-doo, right? Like we're getting a little bit of like vibes from around here, but like more volatile, right? That's kind of the vibe I'm getting. Which again, interesting. Little spike of volume here. And since the we're going parabolic day, really hasn't been much volume. It's been the largest day of volume. Since that day was Friday. And before that, like just not that much volume. Like I consistently look at volume on GameStop stock, how just over time it doesn't even take much to move it. And you just have to wonder because again, it would be demand. And again, I'm trying to focus on fundamentals, but you can't help but question these things because I just think naturally, right? Individuals like the stock, so a lot of demand would cause the price to go up. And if not a lot of volume is causing the price to go up, that means not a lot of demand is still causing the price to go up. But why is it at certain times that's the case, but then at certain times it's not, and then you see an elongated down period here with this limited volume? Like it doesn't seem like there's a large amount of people making large moves. It just seems like volatility from the overall market, volatility from sources and forces that I can't quite understand, right? Little Dr. Seuss for you there. But I don't know. Again, not to get too tinfoil the hat, but you can't help but wonder these things sometimes. Trying to think. Any other spicy information for you guys? Oh yeah, that might be just about it for today. But like kind of what I was saying before, when I think about investing in the future, I really, really think my portfolio is going to be built around companies that are insider held, like have insider ownership. Like that's something I really value in investing and putting like anything on my radar. I really want to like build. Like I feel like it's like I've never had like a starting place with investing in stocks, and like I can truly say, like to clarify too, GameStop's my first long-term position where I've been accumulating shares since January, February 2021, and because I got lucky with the call option in January 2021, and that got me in this whole saga and kind of like fascinated with things, and I got burned on options a little bit, and I was like, no, shares are just a way. But ultimately, I learned a lot of lessons throughout all this, and I've studied the company so much, and now I've only gone shares for a while now, right? I'm just buying shares in the company. I'm going long on a company I believe in. But now I really feel like I've come to understanding, and it started with I'm here for the MOAS, I'm here for the squeeze, I'm here for the supply and demand situation in terms of the shares, and just I was reading about that. But then it became so much more, right? Because I find a guy like Morantz that's out here putting out great information about the fundamentals of GameStop and everything they're trying to do. And I think a lot of other individuals are like me, right? And that's kind of why I've just kind of taken his channel down this route where it's like came for the squeeze and the memes. I stayed for the fundamentals and the value and the lessons to be learned, right? It's like there's so much to be learned from this. And the one major thing for me is driving shareholder values and having executives and people who work for the company be shareholders themselves so their interests can be aligned with the company. Therefore, the company's interests are always aligned with the shareholders. Everybody has the same viewpoint or general, like, not same viewpoints necessarily, but everyone's best interests all line up to be the same. And it's that the company succeeds and creates profits. And I think ultimately that's what's so exciting about GameStop, and being able to like learn and really understand and see them trying to like just create that in real time, day after day, brick by brick, right? Month by month, quarter by quarter. Seeing that just kind of sort of happen and just learning and understanding why it's happening, how it's happening, what's making it happen, who's making it happen. It's just so fascinating. It's taught me so much, and it made me realize, or what I'm personally thinking is, any company I'm really investing in the future, I want to make sure there's good insider ownership there, because I know that will align. And of course, I'll have to make sure they're not just selling off shares. Or there's other factors, right? But generally, what I'm trying to say is, if shareholder interests are aligned with that of the company, that will be like my starting point of like, okay, this is very well possibly a suitable investment. Now let me move down to the financials, the profit margins. Are they going to grow the revenue? What is the business itself, right? All that different stuff. But having like a core starting point of how are the insiders, right? How do they operate? Who has interest in the company, right? What is the core of the company? The core of the company is the board of directors, like the messages that come from the top. And previously, right, GameStop's board of directors, those of you that don't know, owned literally like a jet. They didn't own many shares, if any at all. They made recommendations like, oh, you don't need to sell the Wii in like the year the Wii was popping off, right? Oh, we don't need the Wii U, this and that. At times they needed these things, they didn't get them. It just made no sense. Poor recommendations because their interests were not aligned. They were getting a fat paycheck, so yeah, okay, do that, sure, whatever. Sleep well at night because they got fat paychecks. They didn't care. Now, yeah, sure, whatever. Oh, you know what? Maybe that wasn't a good decision. Let me go back and fix that, because at the end of the day, how I'm compensated one. I think we're reconnected. Okay, yeah, now we're chilling. But yeah, no, kind of like I was just saying. Going in circles here a little bit at this point, a little bit of a tangent in terms of just shareholder value. But I don't know, just researching Dillard's and like into other companies that have insider owners, like, or sorry, large majority of shares outstanding, to the point like, you could see it on Yahoo Finance, like 5% plus of shares outstanding are owned by insiders and being compensated in shares. I really feel like that is ultimately the viewpoint way of investing. And a lot of companies have gotten away from that, and I feel like that's what Ryan Cohen's always tweeting about. I want people that can work. I want like the way he tweets, and like short sellers are the dumb uh, stormtroopers of the galaxy, and now I'm totally blanking out here. And the things about just like ask not what you can do for your company, or not ask not what your company can do for you, but what you can do for your company. I think just all those like kind of little tweets are just all like, you're a shareholder, I'm a shareholder. GameStop's about to succeed. GameStop's gonna grow. Let's make this an awesome company. Shop GameStop, support GameStop, and I'll keep building it great, right? I feel like there's that like connection. I don't know. That's a terrible explanation. That's not exactly what I was trying to say there. I meant more like the company, like Ryan Cohen evidently believes in shareholder value, in my opinion. And I think he's trying to say, like, this is what it's all about, delivering shareholder value and being a shareholder yourself. And the idea of shares being compensated to like upper level management and things like that, I feel like a lot of companies have gotten away from, and it's now more so looked at as like old school, to be like actually paid out in shares of the company. That doesn't really happen as much now. And he's like, nah, let's bring this back. Why is this old school when it makes sense? Because that's how a company operates efficiently. And when you get a company like Dillard's, again, not to keep hammering home the same point, but it's a family run company. So it was all individuals that had, like, oh, it's all individuals running that company, right? Generally with the same name, generally the same interest, because they're actually being compensated and holding shares of said company. So seeing GameStop kind of moving towards that, just with potentially a lot more short interest, I think it's just really exciting to watch it happen. I hope this all made sense today. Any final questions or any other things you guys want to throw in the chat? I'm going to wrap this up in a minute or two, I think. But XBit, you're good. Your phone's going to die. Appreciate you coming. Danzo, question, is share dilution acceptable at any time or reason? I think it absolutely matters the time. Right now, if GameStop were to dilute, I think it would make no sense. I'd be very surprised. I think many people would be. But when you need to raise capital, such as when GameStop diluted back here, like in this time period, they were raising capital, I believe, in this run up maybe part of it was here, but in this relative time period, I think it was absolutely necessary so that they could pay off their debt and just start the transition of their business, because obviously creating the NFT marketplace and closing down stores, opening the new distribution centers, that's a lot of like upfront expenses and things like that. So before they could operate to a profitable structure, I think it took money outright. And I think that absolutely was a good time to issue shares, especially when there was a lot of demand, a lot of, even crazier things going on. I feel like at that times in terms of volume spikes and price cycles, all those different things. So I feel like at that time it was worth diluting, whereas now it's not. Now the company can start to turn profits and they don't see a suitable acquisition. I think eventually buying back stock would be extremely, extremely interesting and enticing for shareholders. And remember, as I've been saying all day, GameStop executives, such as Ryan Cohen, are themselves shareholders. But, I keep saying it because I really feel like it's super, super important. Boosting tonight, for dropping by to say what's up. Ryan Sung, always appreciate you being here, man. Much appreciation. But I think I am going to wrap it up. So you came just for the very end. Thank you for being here. All of you, really appreciate it. And just going to keep moving forward to stream. Keep working on structure. I'm going to keep doing clips of the stream, but I'm also going to try and do some videos here and there in between, because I don't want to just do the live streams. I still want to do some videos or just do those kind of one-take sessions where I just do like by the window and stuff like that. Maybe just go on a walk, do short takes, things like that. So, let's see. Ryan Cohen is smart. Great decision. Take care, Danzo, and I agree. He does make good decisions, and that's why I'm glad he's captain the ship, and it makes me feel good about my investment overall. Freshmaker, Tetron, you make me even more want to buy a lot more GameStop stocks tomorrow. Freshmaker, I don't provide financial advice, but I do provide personal thoughts and opinions about GameStop. But hope you all have a good night. Take care.